So it's truly an honor to have our speakers with us here today. And without further ado, I'll hand over to Dr. Ajour.
Thank you so much, Nicola and Goldie, for inviting me and for making a space for this event on Palestine. So it's really great to be with you today to talk about Gaza and to share my experience and the experience of my family under the trauma of war. They are recovering now, but I have to say it's ongoing trauma. In Gaza, it's repetitive living under 15 years of a blockade. So I'm going to share a screen now. So this presentation shed lights on Gaza, particularly the recent war in May 2021. And this is the structure for my presentation: Gaza in the historical context, the Israeli blockade on Gaza, and the 4 wars, including the recent one, and a view from Gaza, my family under the war and their experience. So Gaza Strip is one of the most densely populated places in the world. So that means even targeted airstrikes in Gaza have a high likelihood of hitting civilians. And more than 60% of Palestinians in Gaza are refugees. Gaza, it's only 25 miles. 2 million of people, they live only in 25 miles. And more than 60% of Palestinians in Gaza are refugees, and they are expelled from their homes in Palestine in 1948. And now they just live a few kilometers away of their original homes and towns. So it's often referred to Gaza as the world's largest open-air prison because Palestinians face heavy movement restriction that makes it difficult to travel abroad for work, to study, to visit family. I'm from Gaza. When I was in Ramallah, I have been separated from my family. My children, they didn't know their roots. So this is what it means to be like Palestinian from Gaza. And Gaza, because of the Israeli siege on Gaza, have devastated its economy. So Gaza, it's a humanitarian catastrophe. So about like 56% of Palestinians, they live in poverty, they suffer poverty, and unemployment rate, 63%. And UN in 2015, they warned that conditions were deteriorating and Gaza could be unlivable by the year 2020, but we had war in 2021. So a blockade is seen by human rights organizations as a form of collective punishment. And as you see in this image, Palestinians gather in front of the gate of Rafah border crossing between Egypt and Gaza during a protest against the blockade, and they called to open the crossing in 2017. Other protests, it's very well known, Gaza Great March of Return. The protesters here along the fence separating Gaza from Israel, they demand the right to return to their homes and to end the siege on Gaza. And in this protest, only in 1 year, Israeli snipers, they killed 266 people and injuring almost 30,000. From displacement to this, so most people live in Gaza, they are refugees, but since imposing siege on Gaza in 2007, Israel has launched 4 wars in 2008, in 2012, in 2014, and recently in 2021. As you can see here, the numbers, but unfortunately, like we are talking about numbers, but these people has a story and a memory and who died in the war. The recent war on Gaza for 11 days in May 2021, the world watched in horror the Israeli military attack and bombing on Gaza, which took the lives of 248 Palestinians, 66 of whom were children, and 107 displaced, which resulted to destruction over 2,000 homes. In 2021 war, 9 Palestinian families non-exist. They disappeared from civil registry, and as you can see here in the picture, one story of baby only survivor after Israel strike kills 10 members of Palestinian family. I found this image express the children who lived and survived this war, so you can Google it and visualizing Palestine. 14 years old of a childhood in Gaza who survived 4 wars. And in this war, at least 66 children under age 18 were killed in Gaza in May 2021. As you can see here, I wrote my experience and the experience of my family in a piece of writing, and it will be published by Jadaliya. So if you would like to read about it, it's very intimate experience to talk about the experience, and due to time limitation, but I'm going to show this image. So in the midst of the recent Israeli attack on Gaza, my daughter Tala, she produced this painting and gave it the title Soul of Gaza, When Children Die. She said, when children are murdered, words become meaningless. Their souls will be looking up on us. So when Tala painted this, my family were living through the terrible genocide in Gaza and other Palestinian areas. So they were being exposed to traumatic events. It was really a very stressful time for me and my family here in the UK, while our loved ones are living in this terrible situation. We were grieving, suffered from sleep deprivation. We haven't stopped watching the news over 11 days of war, and we were constantly on the phone with our my family members who were experiencing this horror. So what was happening in Gaza, it's really beyond words. And I just want to be sure that they are alive. I woke up just to call if I managed to sleep, because we suffered sleep deprivation for 11 days. And as my mom said over the phone, we are dying in every moment, and we would rather die than to live this horror. So when my friends send me messages saying, I'm hoping that your family and loved ones are and continue to be safe, I said to myself, nobody is safe. Rather, they should have hope that my family was still alive. Indeed, this is what I hoped when I called them. I wanted to make sure that they were still alive. In the previous wars, my cousin, they lost one of their legs, and the other cousin died. In this war, my family member, they survived, and they trying now to recover the trauma of war. But as I said in the beginning, it's ongoing trauma. It's a sort of repetitive, as you see, this, and living under this cruel blockade, it's a sort of chronic trauma. This photo of my nephew Naji, 5 years, who puts a sign in his hands, to stand with Palestine is to stand with humanity. Gaza under attack. He took part in a huge protest in Chicago while his grandparents, aunts, and cousins are under the Israeli bombings. And I would like to end my presentation with this image. My daughter Tala, currently, she is painting this. This is Gaza resistance, which is the power of life, that there is, despite the destruction, there is a space of joy. And this image as well. This is the last slides in my presentation. People after the war, they went to beach. This is recently, maybe one walk ago, enjoying the beach with this colorful umbrella, as you see. So I would like to end my presentation saying that despite the unjust wars and the harsh strikes and pain, Gaza is still able to love and resist. And as Mahmoud Darwish, the Palestinian poet, put it, Gaza is not the most beautiful cities. Her coast is not bluer than those of other Arab cities. Her oranges are not the best in the Mediterranean, but the most worthy of love. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashjan. That was really moving.